Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Before we dive into the moment I decided my son's dignity was worth more than my family's approval, please hit that subscribe button. This is a story about the heavy cost of being the reliable one and the sweet liberation of finally saying no more. "We didn't order for your son," my sister Chloe announced, sliding the bread basket toward my 12-year-old, Finn, while her own two boys noisily devoured $100 steaks. My father, Robert, nodded approvingly. "You should have packed him something, Ariel." I just smiled, a thin, deliberate smile, and replied, "Noted." I've spent most of my adult life cleaning up Chloe's messes, financial, emotional, even emergency babysitting her kids while she went on her latest crisis getaway. I did it without complaint, always hearing the same line from our parents. "She's fragile, Ariel. She's going through a lot," as if my life, the stable, reliable one, was magically seamless. Chloe was the designated drama queen, but she always landed softly, cushioned by me and our parents. I booked the best steakhouse in town, the Regal Cut, for my parents' 40th anniversary. I'd arranged a private room and planned to surprise them with a restored wedding photo. It was an olive branch, a genuine attempt at a peaceful family gathering. Instead, I walked into a firing squad of indifference. Finn, shy and excited, held my hand as we entered. He kept whispering, "Can I really have dessert, Mom?" I told him he could have anything his heart desired. Inside, Chloe's family was already installed. Her husband, Mark, had a drink in hand. My mother, Eleanor, gave me a distracted air kiss. My father barely glanced up. No one acknowledged Finn. We sat. I was helping Finn scan the menu. He pointed excitedly at the chicken tenders when Chloe intervened. She pulled the bread basket toward Finn and delivered her line, "We didn't order for your son." Then came Dad's chaser. "You should have packed him something." That was the moment. The casual cruelty of the words, the sudden fall of Finn's face, the smug satisfaction on Chloe's, and the silence from my mother. In that crushing silence, I finally understood. They weren't going to change, but I could. I waved the waiter over. When he arrived, I stood, commanding the silent room. "Please cancel any orders that haven't been sent to the kitchen, and put everything that's already on the way on my father's bill. It's his anniversary after all." You could have heard the crystal ice melt in the water glasses. Then I turned back to the waiter. "Also, my son, Finn, will have the ribeye, medium rare, with the truffle mac and a root beer float. And please, make it quick." Mark choked. Chloe's jaw dropped. My mother just stared. My Aunt Diane and Uncle Garth, seated across the table, exchanged a look that was pure, unadulterated awe. I sat back down, handed Finn a breadstick, and whispered, "Pick out a second dessert." He took the bread, eyes shining with quiet, grateful recognition. He knew I'd stood up for him. I didn't care about the silent, hostile dinner that followed. As we left, I slipped the framed gift to the waiter, asking him to place it on the table after we were gone. Walking out, I accidentally bumped a dessert plate, sending it shattering to the floor. I didn't apologize. That night, my phone was a missile launcher of anger. Furious texts from Chloe, demanding calls from Dad, and guilt-laden voicemails from Mom. I ignored every single one. The next day, they showed up unannounced. Mom, Dad, and Chloe marched into my living room, ready for war. Finn, sitting on the couch with his Switch, glanced at me with that same tired wisdom I'd begun to see in my own reflection. "You embarrassed the entire family last night," Chloe spat, acting like I'd committed a felony for refusing to let my son be treated like a charity case. "You made a scene," Mom jumped in. "You disrespected your father." Dad slammed a manila envelope on my counter. $1,000, the invoice for the private room. "You bailed. You pay your share." The entitlement was staggering. "Wait here," I said, walking away. I called Uncle Garth. "They're here," I said simply. "We'll be there in 10, he replied. No questions. When Garth and Diane walked in through the side door, my parents' faces fell. I returned to the kitchen and faced them. "I've decided I'm done supporting Chloe," I stated, no preamble. "I've been covering half her rent for 7 months. That ends today. If she wants to stay in her apartment, she can figure it out." Chloe screamed a denial. Mom turned to Garth, trying to pull him into their drama. Diane stepped forward, her voice calm but steel-edged. She listed everything I'd done for Chloe, then asked the simple question that hung in the air like smoke. When's the last time any of you helped Ariel? I picked up the invoice, scanned the $1,000 total, and pulled out my wallet. Here's what I'll do, I said, placing $500 on the counter. Not out of obligation, but out of pure, satisfying pettiness. Just to know you didn't get the whole thing.
Dad's hand hit the counter. Mom's face twisted into an ugly mask of rage and hurt. "Get out," I said, walking to the door. Garth stood up. That was enough. They left in a flurry of slammed doors and muffled threats. I locked the deadbolt. It wasn't relief. It was a clean, surgical break. I thought I was free, but the games were just beginning. The angry messages became something colder. Chloe posted vague Facebook statuses about toxic family members. I ignored them. Then came the anonymous call to Finn's school, reporting a concern about his emotional well-being. Child Protective Services, CPS, was called. I felt the blood run cold. They had weaponized the system. I let the caseworkers in. They looked, they talked to Finn, they checked the fridge. They closed the case, apologizing for the waste of time. But the principal warned me, even unfounded reports stay on file. Another call could trigger an automatic escalation. This wasn't drama. This was war. I gathered everything, the 7 months of rent statements, the Venmo screenshots, old texts where Chloe confessed to faking an emergency to ask for money. I contacted my lawyer and issued a cease and desist to all 3 of them, detailing the harassment, the debt, and the false CPS claim. Another move and we were pressing charges. Then the dam broke. Chloe's spineless husband, Mark, texted me a screenshot of a bank transfer. $2,850, exactly half of the debt I'd covered. A minute later, I told her to stop. I've moved out. Do whatever you have to do. More stories poured in from other family members, cousins Chloe had borrowed from and blocked, aunts she had used for free favors. I wasn't the only one drained. I was just the one who finally stopped the flow. The victory was fleeting. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived from their attorney. They were filing for grandparent visitation rights. The casual cruelty was staggering. They ignored him at dinner, told me to pack him something, and now they were using the courts to scare me. This wasn't about seeing Finn. It was about control. My lawyer assured me they had no grounds. Arizona law was clear. But she confirmed my fear. They're using the courts to wear you down. That weekend, I finalized my defense. We filed a formal rejection to the court, attaching all the evidence, the receipts, the CPS report, the malicious messages. I updated my will, making Diane and Garth Finn's only legal guardians. I changed the locks and blocked them from Finn's school access. Then, while clearing out an old childhood box, I found it. A letter from my mother to my father, written 22 years ago, a week after I was born. It was not meant for my eyes. The words were stark. I don't think I'll ever bond with this new baby. I feel like I'm faking it. I'm too tired to try. It wasn't in my head. I had always been the unwanted surprise, the one who had to earn her place. The night before the court filing was officially rejected, I wrote one final message. I printed it, mailed one copy to my parents, one to Chloe. This is the last time you will hear from me. I gave you decades of chances. You repaid me with betrayal, lies, legal threats aimed at my child, and the fundamental cruelty of the dinner. You are no longer my family. If you try to contact me or Finn again, I will pursue a restraining order and publicize every detail of your actions. We are done for good. I blocked their numbers, their emails, their accounts. I erased them, not out of anger, but out of survival. I took Finn camping the next weekend. Just the 2 of us. No phones, no noise, just trees, sky, and quiet. He toasted a marshmallow, grinned, and said, "You seem happier, Mom." I was. We were finally safe, finally free. I had chosen peace over performance, and my son's happiness over their toxic acceptance. And no matter what came next, I knew I had done the one thing I should have done years ago. I had protected myself and my child from the ones who should have protected us. Subscribers, this is the hard truth of setting boundaries. Have you ever had to choose between your peace and your blood relatives? Share your stories below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.